Hey everybody, welcome to the Shead Show. It's Friday, January 19th, and we're late per usual.
I know this one's me.
I'm gonna.
Literally, I tried to be like my guy Ryan, and I got a microphone, and I'm usually very tech savvy, and I have to say, this makes a better paperweight right now than it does doing what it needs to do. Because I feel like the dumbest motherfucker on the planet. I don't have it working right now. There's no engineering
No.
happening today on my end. So I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
So we're just trying to get everything right. We'll get it one of these days.
Man, I
Hey,
hope you don't. I hope you
no,
don't. We keep it guessing.
it is turning into our thing now. But hey, look at it this way: we'll have it all figured out by the time we rebrand, and it's not just the Shed Show. At least we're making
on the Shead Show.
Yeah, at least we're making all the mistakes now.
Well, happy Friday, my brother. Happy Friday.
Same to you, man. Same to you.
And I'm just gonna say right now at the top, let's go Lions. That's
Yeah.
where we're at.
Dude,
Where we at.
I cannot explain to you the excitement that I had watching that game. It made me miss home. It was amazing getting to see, after all these years of, even going to the playoffs and losing, we actually won a game. And on top of it, to be against, Matt Stafford, who played a great game. I mean, dude still got a hell of a
He's solid. He's a solid player.
I love Matt Stafford. Still have nothing but respect for him. He still does a lot for the city. So yeah, just to see the Lions go out and actually beat him and their team, which is a good team.
Well, for the fact that they did a wife swap, with quarterback.
I know.
And then here we are. It's quite interesting to see how this played out. But I thought it was really interesting to see Matt's family, the grace they had. His daughters walked in, and this is how it's Detroit all day. They walked in with jackets that said, Detroit born, LA raised. And I was like, yeah, they're letting people know, like, hey, we're
still here.
Detroit.
We're still here.
So because Detroit is ruthless. They are ruthless.
I don't think we're as bad as like Philadelphia, but yeah, we can be pretty ruthless.
We say what's on our chest. That's reality.
Again, the Stafford family, they have a school in Detroit that they're still very involved with. They still fund. So, they may have left Detroit, but they haven't left Detroit.
They still left a piece of them. Yeah. No, it's 100%. And it's quite interesting because what I love about Detroit fans, one of my friends I was just talking to, I was like, hey man, so you're excited about the game this weekend? He goes, Ian, I love Detroit everything. He goes, but I don't really watch football. And he goes, I'm not going to be one of these bandwagon folks. He goes, I'm not even interested. I go, bro, that's so Detroit of you. Like, you're born and raised and dealt with this shit all your life, and you're going to tell me that you're not a bandwagon? I go, bro, you pay taxes for that motherfucker. There's no answers or buts. And he's like, I guess you're right. I go, yeah. I'm just saying, that's your home team. There's no answers or buts about it. I don't even watch sports all the time, and I'm a fan. I'm like, it is what it is.
Again, I'm in Arizona now, so of course I rep, my Arizona teams too. But I worked at Ford Field. Like I said, my dad used to take me to the Silverdome so I could see Barry play. So I mean, we got to watch Barry play. We got to watch Megatron play. We had two of the best, arguably, to ever do it. And we never got to the promised land. So to see this team spooling up, and they're young, right? They're young. So I think we got some.
They had a future ahead of them.
I think we got some good years ahead of us. Hopefully, hopefully.
I'm excited. It's good to see the excitement in Detroit right now. That's all they need. It, dude. They need it, and
everybody deserves it.
Theirs, so it's game on.
Yep. And you know what? And I bet there was a small part of Matt Stafford that was happy to see him win too.
Bro, you already know he was like, get it.
Yep.
I mean, come on, him and Megatron collaborating right there. It's a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing.
I missed that. I really
can't be mad.
Missed that.
So what's going on, man? What's on your mind today? What's
I was going to say this. This is probably going to be the worst pivot ever.
I was going to say it was a really boring week. So let's see.
Yeah, I mean, it really was. I mean, it was a typical. I feel like it's typical Trump stuff. That we're going to talk about. Vivek Ramaswamy, he dropped out of
Vivek Ramaswamy.
Is it? Yeah. Am I saying it wrong? Sorry.
Vivek. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not doing that on purpose. I'm sorry.
No. You're not an asshole like that. I'm more of the asshole like that. That's not
I'm not trying to do that on purpose. But yeah, he dropped out. So that kind of shrinks the field a little bit for the GOP, leaving Nikki Haley, DeSantis, and Trump, and
so it's now just the three. That's where we're at. Chris Christie was first, and then last election, Vivek dropped out, and so now it's just three.
I don't think there's anybody else there. If there is, I don't.
And does Ron even really count? I mean, he's just there.
He came in second. Like, he beat Nikki Haley in Iowa.
He came in second after spending so much money in Iowa.
That's true.
So much money. Like,
yeah, I don't think
his money there.
I don't think Haley spent a fraction.
Haley did not spend money there. She spent her money in New Hampshire, and she's just trying to get to South Carolina. That's all she's trying to do. Yep. She's trying to get to her promised land. Her promise.
She's trying to hang in there. She's trying to hang in there in hopes that Trump goes down, in the next however many months, and it'll leave her and DeSantis. And if that's the case, I think Nikki Haley could eat DeSantis's lunch.
Does everybody feel like DeSantis is that little boy in the corner with his little pudding, with no friends at the cafeteria?
He kind of seems that way
with his high heels on. Like, is that? I mean, realistically, what we're looking at with this dude,
he just, at least to me, he doesn't seem like that guy that you're like, oh, I wouldn't mind going, out.
He's not charismatic at all.
No, not even a little bit, dude.
Nothing.
And when you're a politician, that's a must. You got to have a little bit of that, charisma, or yeah.
It's literally like the bottom of the barrel of what Trump is.
Yeah.
Is Ron DeSantis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
But I give him more credit. He's better at governing, but
I have to verify this. So please, anybody listening, take this for a grain of salt. But I did see this, and it showed a picture of a DD-214 with some blacked out spots. So I don't know if it's accurate, but it said that his DD-214 said he was like a captain urinalysis, something or other. He wasn't even a pilot. If that's true, like, I got to go verify that, because if that's true, holy shit.
Are you telling me my man was literally just like mopping the deck?
It sounded like he was doing urinalysis. Like, so there's like actually a job for that.
Interesting.
Yeah, I got to go. Like I said, I got to go verify that one.
We might be breaking news here first on the Shead Show.
Well, I got it from somebody, so I can't say, it's breaking news for me. But
Shed spreading rumors on the Shead Show.
There you go. That's probably more accurate. That's why I was prefacing it with, I have to verify this.
Like, these allegations have not been cross-referenced.
They have not been. So they have not been vetted by me at all.
Just accusations at this moment in time.
Yeah, but dude, like we talked about before, that's the bad thing about social media right now. Yeah. Is the best example is the Trump screenshots that everybody takes. Like, it's from Truth Social.
Yeah.
And for the longest time, I'm like, I don't have the stomach to go over to Truth Social. But literally now, I actually will go verify. Was this actually something he posted? Because half the time it's not, and somebody's just fucking with us. But the bad thing is that Trump is so, out there that when you read these fake tweets or these fake posts, you're like, yeah, that sounds like him. You know what I'm saying? Like, with most people, you'd be like, they didn't say that.
Confetti. You're like, okay, what the fuck are we doing? Yeah, it's one of those, and I'm never gonna let that go. I literally think he had a stroke when he wrote Confetti.
Well, I got a video for you that there's a word he can't say. It's kind of funny, but before we do that, I want to talk about the Uvalde shooting for a minute.
Yeah.
There's been a little bit of an update that they literally just kind of stood around for, I think it said 77 minutes was what they had.
It took the DOJ 604 days to tell America
what we already
everything we knew 20 minutes into that motherfucking day. The cops showed up and just sat there and even attempted to arrest parents who were willing to do more than them.
Dude, besides the kids dying, of course, that was probably the next thing that pissed me off the most. Yeah. It's like, if you don't want to go in, fine, fuck you, but don't stop me.
Yeah.
Like, that's my kid. Those are our kids. I'm going in to get them.
Yeah.
And if you're not going to use your gun, give me that motherfucker so I can.
Well, I just don't understand how windows were not broken and like people like jumping in there and all.
I will never understand. I mean, first off, I'll never understand how Sandy Hook wasn't the end of this. But again, something else I'll never understand is how all those police officers stood around and waited. And matter of fact, let me just play a video clip that I have.
Yeah.
Were they afraid of an 18-year-old kid? This 18-year-old, let's remember, was about 5'5" or 5'6". He was 140 pounds, soaking wet. Were they really afraid of this kid? No. They were afraid of his weapon.
That's it.
Yep. And I posted that earlier, and I said, look, if the cops are afraid of a AR-15, AK-47, whatever you want to call it, if they're afraid of that gun, maybe, just maybe, every American shouldn't have one.
Right.
Like, right. If you've got 30, 40 officers standing out there and you all have guns too, and you're afraid of this one kid that's 140 pounds dripping wet, and you won't go in there and stop it, and you're basically just sitting there, listening to 19 kids and 2 teachers be murdered, I've got no use for you.
I mean, was their strategy to wait until he ran out of bullets?
That's literally
I'm sorry to say it like that. Like,
no, that's exactly, like, they were waiting for him to run out of ammo. Let's just stand here, wait for him to stop shooting, then we'll go in. Like, I think that was literally what they were thinking. Almost like, we can't save we can't save who's in there, so we'll just contain it.
It's interesting to hear from my conservative friends when this Uvalde comes up, because to them it's a one-off. They're like, those cops were cowards, and I'm like, okay, yes, they were cowards. Yes, I agree with you, but that's not where the conversation ends. It's not they were cowards, and you being Rambo, you would have just ran in there. It's like, why don't we just get to the root of this, and just why does this weapon need to be here? Because it's just killing kids now at this point. Yeah,
absolutely.
But I already knew after Sandy Hook that if you didn't care about elementary kids, then
you're never going to care.
You don't give a fuck. Nope. You don't give a fuck about any of this.
No.
So don't tell me you're pro-life.
Yeah, no, exactly. Again, that's the next thing. It's like all these pro-lifers, you want to talk about killing babies. Like, guys, you guys clearly don't know what a fucking fetus is and all that, but let's fast forward to when they're about 8 years old, 10 years old. Like, you don't give a shit if they're getting their faces blown off while they're learning, long division.
Yeah.
You have no problem with that. So it's like,
I honestly hate the idea that my kid has to learn shooter drills. I think it's absolutely fucking grotesque.
It's one of the reasons we keep ours and do virtual. They don't know what that is.
I think it's fucking grotesque.
It is. And I think it's sad that more parents are shifting, if they're able, like us, they're shifting to virtual because they're like, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
Like, it's not worth the anxiety anymore of sending our kids to school, having them come home and tell us these stories. Like, fuck that, dude. Like, if I can get them the same education and keep them even safer, then I'm going to do that. Right. And I think we're going to see even more people do that are able. And probably as teleworking increases, I think we'll start seeing that as well. People keeping their kids at home, saving the money on daycare because they can work from home.
Right.
Because daycare ain't cheap.
Brother, who you telling?
Shh.
Who you telling?
Diapers and daycare.
This little motherfucker's getting his college degree, and he's only 2.
I'm telling you, diapers and daycare, brother. It's like, that's all you live for 4 years.
I told someone, said to me, oh my God, you're having a child? I go, yes. You need to have a diaper party. They're like, what's that? I go, you literally throw a keg party and you just ask for as many diapers as you can get. Yep. Enjoy yourself. Yep. I go, you will win. You'll be doing yourself a lot of justice. Good luck, new fathers. Good luck. That's all I can say.
That's we need to sell that idea.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Get it.
So, but let's move on to Miss Nikki Haley.
Oh, sweet Nikki.
Sweet Nikki. She yeah, I don't even know what to say to that. I'm just going to play the video and then I will respond.
I'm a brown girl that grew up in a small rural town in South Carolina who became the first female minority governor in history, who became a UN ambassador, and who is now running for president. If that's not the American dream, I don't know what is. You can sit there and give me all the reasons why you think I can't do this. I will continue to defy everybody on why we can do this, and we will get it done.
Are you a racist party? Are you involved in a racist party?
No. We're not a racist country, Brian. We've never been a racist country. Our goal is to make sure that today is better than yesterday. Are we perfect? No. But our goal is to always make sure we try and be more perfect every day that we can. I know I faced racism when I was growing up, but I can tell you today is a lot better than it was then. Our goal is to lift up everybody, not go and divide people on race or gender or party or anything else. We've had.
Okay, so in a span of 10 seconds, well, let's say 30 seconds, she went from America is not a racist country, the GOP is not a racist party, to I've experienced racism and it's not as bad as it used to be. Which one is it, woman?
No. Here's the thing. When she brought up Madison and she was talking about everything, he wrote that, right?
What?
When Nikki was talking about, when the Constitution was written and Madison and all this other stuff, and all in her dialogue.
Yeah.
When she wrote, his sweet words that we live by. He owned slaves.
Yeah, that part.
Like the part that I'm like, okay, wait a minute, Nikki, who doesn't go by her first name for reasons
General P?
that she understands.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like Trump's using her first name in this like racial undertone. It's coded language.
But that was what I posted that video on Twitter, and that was what I actually said. I was like, if America is not a racist country, why don't you use your first name instead of your middle name? Nimrata. And then
that's a dope ass name. It's beautiful.
When you say Nikki, I don't think Nikki Haley. Right? There's a lot of Nikkis out there. Nicki Minaj. You know what I'm saying? But
okay, I'm sorry. I have to say this. I think Nikki needs to come out to Wet Ass Pussy. I think.
Oh, that would be funny.
I think that needs to be her campaign music now.
Yeah. Going for the black vote. Yeah. Jesus. But
just gonna say it.
You know what I said when I posted the clip? I go, we aren't always laughing on the show, but we're usually laughing on the show. But the point is that there's a bunch of Nikkis out there, but how many Nimratas are there?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that, like you said, that's a dope
but
ass
Trump's
name.
punk ass, I'm sorry, his bigotry knows no bounds. Misspelling it to call her Nimrod, and it's just like, oh God. Like Trump.
And again, that's why I refuse to be nice. I refuse to be kind to everybody, because people are like, oh, especially the MAGA people, like they expect me to be nice to them. I'm like, you guys follow Donald Trump, who gives everybody like freaking names, calls everybody names that they're not smart. Like, fuck you people.
Come on, Ryan, be best.
Fuck that. When they go low, I go lower.
You sound like Dan Campbell. We bite kneecaps.
That's like, dude. I drove around in high school with a bat, a bucket, and 2 things of concrete in my trunk, and I would open it and show people.
Was the bucket for the wet ass pussy?
No, the bucket was for their fucking feet.
Oh.
I'll take your ass down to Belle Isle.
You about to show where Jimmy Hoffa was planted, huh?
They won't see you again. You'll be down at Belle Isle like this.
Here at the Shead Show, we like to incriminate ourselves.
Hey. I didn't say there were bodies down there you're going to find. Jeez. Just saying what I might do.
What ifs?
Hey, when you're getting bullied in high school, you got to come up with some good things. You know what I'm saying?
Man. Hey, mine was humor.
Yeah.
Like,
it was. You always had me laughing. Always.
Hey,
that
jokes
was
keep on coming.
I think that was a better approach than mine.
No, but with Miss Nikki, I find it quite telling that the verbal Olympics that she jumped through to try to just say, well, the intent, Well, the intent, this motherfucker had slaves, man. Like, he wrote this shit. Like, when you even listen to the Star Spangled Banner and you realize this motherfucker had slaves too.
I would just look at her and be like, on top of that, let me ask you, when did you get the right to vote, Nikki?
She slightly touched on that. And look, I see how she tries to, with a broad brush, paint this American dream. It almost comes off just like Tim Scott when he would touch on race and say it doesn't exist. But there was that one time I got pulled over and put in handcuffs, and they pulled their guns on me. But I was very calm.
Yeah.
It's like, but that's the point. You shouldn't have to be the calm one. The cop should be the calm one. He's the one with the authority.
Yeah.
So why is he nervous? You know, and so it's just like your story doesn't land. It doesn't, like, I understand that you're trying to paint it a certain way, but it just doesn't land at all.
Yeah.
But in Nikki's world, and actually, if you think about it, where she's at, and I give her credit, she did get rid of the Confederate flag from the state building. That was under her watch. I give her that.
Mm-hmm.
It just took George Floyd's death. It took the Black Lives Matter movement. It took the Charleston killing. It took all these things, the compound effect of people being over it and saying enough. Like why this heritage that you claim to literally lean on is just your willful ignorance of you holding on to the fact that you fucking lost. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, nothing else needs to be said. Let me ask you this before we move on. Actually, I'm going to ask you after this. So, on top of Nikki Haley saying this kind of stuff, and just so I don't mispronounce his name, go ahead and say his name.
Vivek.
Vivek, thank you. Ramaswamy dropped out and shut his presidential campaign down. So that leaves us with 3, right?
Yeah.
So what do you think? What do you think Nikki Haley's chances are?
I think Nikki's chances are a lot better than Ron's. She's more humanized. Even with her gaffes, even with her stumbling over herself, she still connects with people, and she didn't spend the amount of money that we're talking about. Ron spent a major amount of budget, and here's the thing: this is a marathon, right? Ron is a sinking ship. It's the writing's on the wall. He's had numerous turnover. He's letting go of a lot of staff. He's burned through all of his cash. The dude was flying private everywhere. He wasn't really paying attention to his budget, and he wasn't pinching pennies. He wasn't being conservative. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
And he spent a lot of money in Iowa to be number 2. To be number 2.
Yeah.
So his long game is very absent. Nikki is playing chess. Ron's playing checkers. That's what I'm gonna say to that.
It seemed like Ron was going in to Iowa with the intention of spending enough money that maybe he might actually top Trump. I think that they thought they might actually be able to spend their way to the top.
Ron is drunk off of Florida's moonshine. And I'm going to say that as in his power that he's been surrounded by.
Yeah.
Okay? He has full control, which that grip has been lessening over this last 2 years.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, the Ron that we got when he got reelected versus the Ron now, 2 totally different people.
Yeah.
The wind was on his sail. He was literally coming into this fighting with Mickey Mouse. But then as this got prolonged and then Mickey started doing some power moves and showing how weak Ron was. And then it's like, wait a minute, why are you fighting with this? Why are you fighting with Mickey Mouse? Like, what is going on here? And they're still to this day.
It's still going.
Still going on.
Yep.
So and then you think about this. Ron got major donors, so bigwigs, 1%, who gave them the maximum amount that they could offer Ron. And he has no middle class, nobody doing small donations. Nobody.
Yeah.
So he's now reached his max and can't even receive any more money from these people. And he's not going to anybody lower than them. So now he's on borrowed time.
Yeah.
And the people who are 1% who've donated to him, they can pull their money at any moment to recoup.
Yeah. I definitely think Nikki Haley will be in in the fight longer than Ron will.
She will be in the fight longer. My question is, when do they start actually talking about Donald Trump? Which I understand their game is hoping he gets arrested. That's their game. They hope he gets incarcerated. They hope that he,
They hope they don't have to do it. They hope
they don't have to do it.
Yeah.
But you're not going to win against Trump like that.
I don't think so. I think at this point, Nikki Haley and Ron both should be nailing him to the wall every day, because they could go at each other later, but if they could manage to neutralize him somewhere,
if they were smart, they would double team him
like all day long, like it was football.
What I mean?
Yep.
If they were smart, they would go for the king of their party.
And
because
then
that's literally what it is at this point.
It's like racing. You have two members of each team, and they have gentleman agreements. Like if they're both on the front row, whoever hits the first corner, that's who's going to take first if it's down to us at the end of the race.
Right.
And it's like, I wish that they would do something like that. Like, look, you and I can fight this out later.
Right.
Let's get rid of this guy.
Yeah.
I would love that.
And it's funny because Nikki said it. She was like, we lost 2018. We lost 2020. We lost 2022. She goes, that was Donald Trump.
Yep.
And I'm like,
say it. Say it.
Start just putting facts out there, because you're not making anything up.
Nope.
So I give her that. She's done more. Look, she has bigger kahunas than Ron.
She's a better candidate. Flat out.
I would give her that.
Yeah, she's a better candidate. And I'll say this, as much as I disagree with her on things, she is hands down the best GOP candidate. I firmly do believe that, even with all of her, like you said, all of her issues. Out of all the GOP people you could choose from that were up there, I still do think she's the best candidate.
Out of that camp of people, yes.
What we had to choose from. Yeah.
It's interesting because, and even though I do not agree with Liz Cheney, I think Liz Cheney is a beast.
Oh, dude.
I think she's phenomenal. And playing the game, doing her thing. I think really there's a lot there to offer.
The reason I respect her is because we do disagree on so many things.
Right.
But when it came down to what really mattered, which is the framework of our country and our government,
fighting for democracy, plain and simple.
Exactly. She knew what side of the aisle was the right side, and she had, like you said, she had the balls to stay on that side.
Right.
Even when she was being attacked, even after she got voted out,
over her own party.
She kept Americans first, and that I can respect. Like I said, we can disagree on a lot of things and we can debate things. Right. But when it comes to, insurrection, domestic terrorism, and things like that, there should be no middle ground. There should be no discussion. It should be like Liz Cheney and what was it? Not Kissinger, Kinzinger.
Yeah.
They were the two big GOP that, they lost their seats.
Yeah. Yep. They got primaried.
Yep.
They got primaried out.
So, but they did the right thing. And I think majority of, even though they got primaried out, I think majority of Americans respect them for that, even if they aren't Republicans.
Yeah. Kinzinger, he decided not to run again. That was his.
Oh, he didn't get primaried?
He didn't get primaried out.
Okay.
But Liz got primaried out.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and I know Cheney did. So real quick, did you see how they were counting the ballots in Iowa?
No.
DeSantis. Haley. DeSantis.
They were doing it in popcorn buckets and grocery bags and
everything that screams Iowa.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know what I mean? The best thing that I can say about all of it was that the Democratic Party was like, we're no longer starting with Iowa. It does not represent America.
It definitely.
And by that
doesn't.
I mean the demographic.
It doesn't. It represents. I mean? It clearly, their demographic is very clearly not representative of all Americans. That's
it looks like
sure.
the Republican Party. It might be
The
one
Republican Party, yeah. By the way, I just have to say this, and if it comes off wrong, I'm sorry. But what is it? Tim Scott, it came out today, or is supposed to be coming out today, endorsing Trump. And I just want to point out, go look at Charlie Kirk, Graham Allen, all those right-wing crazy people, and look at how they were using Tim Scott today to say, see, a black person is going to say Trump is the man. Like, they've been posting about it all day. Who gives a shit? Like, it's like one criminal freaking supporting another. Big deal. It's a Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday. It's quite interesting to see who's getting in bed with who now. Even though we understand what's about to happen.
Yes.
We all know what's about to happen. Trump's going to delay as much as he can. You see it all happening. And I have to just look at even what they're trying to pull with Fannie Willis in Georgia. And I'm like, nobody's clean in anything that they do. Nobody's clean.
Yeah, no.
So maybe she has a relationship with this DA guy and whatever the case is and all this other stuff, and she chose him. So it doesn't look right, but at the same time, is he the right person for the job?
Yeah.
Does it really matter? Because why are they becoming the case? But at the same time, I get it. If there's funding that's going on or whatever the case is, but it looks like all distraction to me.
Yeah.
But great. There's a new case that now has to be looked at, and by all means, let's have no stone unturned. Let's get to the bottom of all of it. Let's put everything on the table. But in the end, you're going to face a judge, and seeing how you have handled E. Jean Carroll, and seeing how irate you're becoming, and seeing how you're making your actual lawyers embarrass themselves, get disbarred. I mean, how many lawyers have we watched in the past year alone? 2023 was not a good year for anybody coming from Trump's camp.
Well, I think that's a really good time. I just wanted to point out, Trump owes over $80,000 to the city of Tucson for campaign things. I'm just going to put it up real quick. So here, Arizona family put out Arizona News. Trump campaign still owes Arizona cities thousands in past dues. Now, the awesome thing, and one of the reasons I love my mayor, Regina Romero, she sent a letter to Trump asking him for the money before he comes back. And it was freaking beautiful. So well, probably not. So I have another visual, and here, these are where he owes money to people. So Billings up here, 42,000, Mesa, Arizona, 64,000, Minneapolis, 530,000, Albuquerque, 211,000, El Paso, Texas, 569,000, Erie, Pennsylvania, 35,000, Burlington. It's crazy.
$8,464 in Burlington.
Yep.
Get out of here.
He owes all that money, plus I'm sure more.
So now, what is it? Now, break that down real quick. Is that just because of him campaigning? Is that?
I think most of it has to do with like campaign events that he never paid the bills. So, for example,
he's too busy getting the PR of being in that one little McDonald's and saying he's buying everybody McDonald's. Huh? That's where he was. Okay.
But for example, if you have your police force coming in and working overtime because they gotta do what they got to do and protect them, and they're supposed to pay for that,
right?
And if they don't pay for that, who's going to pay the law enforcement for all that time? Taxpayers. They're going to have to find the money somewhere. So Trump I said this yesterday. I said, how many people do you think Donald Trump is directly responsible for putting on government assistance? Most people said over 10,000. And the sad thing is that's true.
I'm just shaking my head.
He purchased 2 pianos that were supposed to go in one of his casinos in Atlantic City from a guy in New York. Never paid him.
Right. He's notorious for never paying his
like people have committed suicide. Contractors that have committed suicide because they couldn't pay their people. You know, they couldn't cover the materials that they purchased for the job. Like this,
and then he litigated in court. He delayed everything.
Donald Trump has personally taken food off of middle class tables, and he's been doing it for decades so that he could project this picture of success.
Yeah.
While the reality is he isn't successful at fucking anything, and he's just being funded by banks and loans and Saudis and Russians and who the fuck knows who else.
Iran. He's just one big pyramid scheme. That's all he is.
He really is. So speaking of that, I want to end the show on talking about Trump here, because here's the unfortunate thing, guys. He's running for president. Until this dude is no longer trying to get in our White House, I'm going to keep talking about him. So, and I'm going to keep saying that I'm voting for Hunter Biden's dad. So that's who I'm going to vote for. But I'm going to play a clip that he put out. And again, I don't know how you feel, but I feel that if you're begging and pleading for immunity, that you're probably fucking guilty. Like, how do you feel about that?
I mean, look, man, I don't have those conversations with my wife. There's nothing guilty about anything. I sit there like, baby, please, baby, please.
I mean, I always tell Jen's the one person that knows everything, because she doesn't have to testify against me in court. They can't make her testify against me.
Facts. But that's my point, is that you're not, you know, if you're...
I just made everybody be like, what's he telling his wife?
Where that
You'll never know.
The body's that girl.
You'll never know.
So it's quite interesting to me, because, you know, the biggest thing that I get from listening to Donald Trump, which I have to honestly say, I feel so stupid after I listen to anything he has to say, is that it's just projection. Everything he says is projection.
Yeah.
We need somebody who could protect our secrets. Bitch, you had them at a little resort.
Yeah,
a resort. Yep. Next to your fucking shitter, in a shower, moved by God knows who.
Okay, so I actually have a video, so let's watch this.
The president of the United States, and I'm not talking about myself, I'm talking about any president, has to have immunity, because if you take immunity away from the president, so important, you will have a president that's not going to be able to do anything, because when he leaves office, the opposing party president, if it's the opposing party, will indict the president for doing something that should have been good. Like Obama dropped missiles and they ended up hitting a kindergarten or a school or the apartment house. A lot of people were killed. Well, if that's the case, he's going to end up being indicted when he leaves office. He meant well. The missile went in the wrong direction.
Man.
Like, even using Obama, too. Trying to justify his. Uh-oh.
I lost you.
I didn't lose you.
I'm there. I'm here.
You're good. Am I there?
You're here. Don't worry. Keep going.
Okay.
The projection, though.
Right. So now I want to go back and let's reverse and look at the tapes from 2016 and hear from the man's own mouth.
I'm going to enforce all laws concerning the protection of classified information. No one will be above the law.
We also need to fight this battle by collecting intelligence and then protecting our classified secrets. We can't have someone in the Oval Office who doesn't understand the meaning of the word confidential or classified.
One of the first things we must do is to enforce all classification rules and to enforce all laws relating to the handling of classified information.
We also need the best protection of classified information. Service members here in North Carolina have risked their lives to acquire classified intelligence to protect our country.
So rich. Look, man, he's a fucking con artist. End of story.
I know that.
Selling
You know that.
And this is it. New Yorkers all know this asshole.
Yeah.
We know him. He's the one hawking shit on Brooklyn Bridge. We know him. You know what I'm saying? It's all there.
Like, again, this is why I can't take MAGA seriously. I can't take a Trump supporter seriously.
Yeah.
Like, you have either the shortest memory of anybody on this planet, like an ant.
They don't care.
Or you don't care.
They don't care. There's only two things that you could ever live by. You don't know or you don't care.
Yeah.
Which is it? And we already know we've had 4 years of this asshole.
I don't want another 4, bro.
But I will say to you, it's quite interesting to see how much money he's made off of his presidency, talking about, I'm not taking a fucking dollar from my presidency.
Yeah. People are still
being the taxpayers. No, but you took millions from all these foreign agents. Like, let's be serious.
Not just that, dude. The amount of money that he made by overcharging Secret Service for staying on his properties
and continues.
Like, he never divested from any of his businesses.
No.
Ivanka was getting patents from China.
Audited. I can't release my tax forms.
Yeah, whatever. Everybody else can release them, but you can't. Yeah. You can't because you know that you're a crooked motherfucker, and it would prove it, and we would dice you up. And again, Ivanka's getting patents from China. Jared Kushner's getting $2+ billion from Saudi Arabia as they happen to be leaving the White House. Yeah. So I'm just wondering if Ivanka's going to get some more patents from China, or does Daddy have to be in the White House again before they start that up? Just
gonna be quite interesting.
Yeah, but Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden.
And dick pics. Hunter Biden.
Yeah. So again, when Hunter Biden has a office in the West Wing and has a security clearance given to him, even though he can't pass a background check,
there it is.
Then I'll start giving a shit.
But until then, I really am wondering why. I mean, look, there's no wonder. I get it, but this same kind of energy for somebody who literally is just a guy that's over there. He's not even in government. Has nothing to do with government.
Nope.
So the smoking gun, whatever, it's like, show your fucking evidence because nothing's lining up. But the Biden crime family, great tagline. I got it. Yeah. He went from Sleepy Joe to being a fucking godfather. Like, I don't know. Here it is.
Right?
Like, he freaks them out.
Make up your mind. Is this dude incapable of functioning, or is he running the largest crime family ever?
I will say this. I've said this to you before. I really believe Sleepy Joe is a beast, Dark Brandon, behind closed doors, no cameras around. I'm wondering what he's even said to Netanyahu about, like, get your shit fucking together. Because I'm not playing with you.
Well,
I think, and I know we're switching gears, but there's something about Biden behind closed doors I think is very intimidating.
I mean, I don't think you make it, 40, 50 years doing that unless you're a beast, behind closed doors and getting shit done. Again, and I kind of agree with you. I would be very surprised if Biden hasn't gotten on the phone and said, hey, you're kind of...
They just did after 26 days of not talking.
Yeah, so it's like, hey, dude, you're kind of leaving me here with egg on my face, and I'm trying to support you. Like, help me out here. You know what I mean?
No, I don't think it's that kind of tone.
Well, no, I know it's not that tone, but, that's the conversation,
I don't think it's help me out here. I think it's, do you want to be alone?
Well, yeah.
Do you know what I
said,
mean?
Yeah.
Do I need to pull all my resources away?
Yeah.
You want to talk big and bad. Sounds like you can handle yourself without any backup.
And honestly, politically, if he did that right now, it would actually help him in the election.
I don't know, man.
Because that's one of the biggest things they're because I don't want to talk about it, but that's one of the biggest things they're using against Biden. They're saying Trump is Trump. No. The right's doing it too. They're using it in their videos and their propaganda that Trump's going to stop the endless wars and only he can do it and blah blah blah. So
how would he do it? He has a game plan. He'll tell you on day one.
No, I know. It's just like how he was going to replace Obamacare. In 2015. Fuck, we're still waiting for that.
I'll tell you on day 2.
Yeah. Okay. Nine years later, we still don't have anything to replace Obamacare.
I have something. Just wait for my second term. I have something for you. Just wait.
it's
all spin doctor bullshit. That's all.
It is. The point being, if Biden were to just say, you know what, screw you, pull out, I think a lot of Americans would be like, yeah, fuck them. Cool. I think it would help him in the polls. But I don't think he's going to do that. I'm just saying if he did, it might actually help him. But, it's just really crazy times. I know we keep having conversations offline about it.
It's the only way you can right now. I think it's the safest space for people to diverge in such complexity.
Yeah.
Because it's not one of those things that I think people need to air out. It's just, you talk and you find things out, and then you're like, let me look into that. And you were breaking news to me that you're like, Ian, I sent that to you. And I go, I'll get to it. I'll read it.
I know. So same shit happens to me. I'll go back and read that.
I will go back and read it. And it's one of those things where it's like, because life happens and you're like, okay, I don't live in the Middle East, so I'm not dealing with it. And it's one of those things where it's like, okay, daily struggles, everything that's going on, let's tackle what we need to that's in front of us. Let's, really get into the nitty gritty of what's happening in our own country.
Dude,
and at the same time, it's just like, all right, it does affect all of us, and we all do want world peace, but what does that really look like? And like,
what does the path there look like? Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's actually one of my favorite things. Are we done with Trump, or are we,
Yeah, I'm about to end the show, but yeah, go ahead.
One of the things that I think is so beautiful and powerful right now is to see the population in Israel being Jews and Palestinians. You have a major coalition of young people out there who are really screaming for a ceasefire, for a return of hostages, for Hamas to lay down its arms and end this, and for Netanyahu to resign and go fuck off. And when you look at those 4 pillars right there, you're looking at a strong foundation for the future. Yeah. And when you look at the fact of them actually in the streets together, working together, you're like, and this is the world we want to see.
Yeah.
But that's the thing that brings a lot of hope to me. It's not some fucking liberal in Boston or in New York who's screaming ceasefire and has nothing to fucking offer the conversation.
Yeah.
It is people actually on the ground who are really trying to see a better future for themselves, for their family members, for their kids. And I'm like, that's the world I want to see in full live effect of like, here it is on the big screen. This is the big picture.
Yeah. But also what I like how you kind of said that we don't live in the Middle East. Like, the skin that we have in this game is, we kind of talked about this earlier. It's more about the tax dollars we've put into this conflict than it is anything else.
Yeah.
And I think from that aspect, I know I'm much more focused on what's happening here, especially being an election year. I don't want these issues and what's going on in these campaigns to get buried in, news about Israel and Ukraine and all this stuff. It's like, not saying it's not important, not saying we shouldn't focus on that too, but we have a lot of stuff going on here domestically that we need to solve, we need to fund, we need to, keep certain people out of office because they are not here to represent the American people. They're here to represent themselves and an agenda that is meant to hurt Americans.
Right.
So,
but to put blame, even if it was Trump in power, to put blame on a U.S. president for what's happening all across the globe, it's like,
again, thank you for saying that.
It's not Biden's fault. None of this shit.
Nope, and it wouldn't be Trump's.
Biden's not weak, so then someone's like, oh, I can start some shit. No. Somebody has their agenda. They're going to do what the fuck they want. I'm waiting to see what happens with Iran because, honestly, I think that there needs to be calls of genocide put on them for being the orchestrator of all this chaos that's happening. Just because they felt left out by Saudi Arabia moving way past everybody and making their money hand over fist and making connections because they're about their business.
Yeah.
And I find it very interesting that we have all these little outbreaks that are taking place. And it's like, well, wait a minute. Weren't they working with Trump too? Like, I mean, that's my conspiracy theory bullshit. But I mean, I'm just like, you don't just have all these documents on our closest ally, wonder who that is, on their nuclear power, their nuclear secrets.
Yeah.
And you're just letting this sit right by the shitter? Like, no.
Yeah.
And Ryan.
What?
How many documents have not been found that they talked about with Trump from Mar-a-Lago.
The one that really is concerning is the binder of intel that reportedly was Russian intel.
Uh-huh.
So that one's concerning,
Yep.
Yeah. Boris Johnson endorses Trump. Oh my God. I'm telling you guys, it's, you know what? And I'm just going to end it and say this, the best thing that we can do is vote, and tell everybody around you how important it is. I hope we can continue to get Gen Z out. They're clearly pissed off, rightfully so.
They're going to be really pissed off when they fuck around and find out that they helped elect Trump.
Yes.
If they want to have a protest vote this year.
Yeah, this is,
it'll be very interesting to see what happens.
I know people say, "Oh, we say that every year," but guys, seriously, again, we're fighting the same enemy that we fought in 2020. I said it in 2020 that this election was not the election for protest votes. It was not the election to try and push for a third party candidate. That we needed to stay the course that we're on, which is it's a two-party system, whether we like it or not. It hasn't changed yet. And so we need to play the game. And we're fighting that same enemy again. So the plan hasn't changed. We have to win. And
to add to you,
please.
My wife and I were really touched on this and looking at what the shakeup is. So a prediction for you. You have Trump, you have Biden. Let's just say that's the top two.
Yeah.
Then you have the little fallout. You have Cornel West, Jill Stein, Kennedy, and then I'm not even thinking about the Dan guy. He's not even on my radar. Democrat, who's trying to primary. So you look at the protest vote. All right, Cornel West and Jill Stein and Kennedy. Who's taking and ciphering from who? Well, Cornel West is taking from Biden. Yep. Robert Kennedy is taking away from Trump.
Usually, yeah.
I love that I'm getting these effects.
What is that?
I'm saying some real shit and I'm getting the effects right here.
What was that?
It's like 4th of July over here in New York.
Dude, you always get like the thumbs up and stuff. I don't get shit.
I mean, the internet loves me. I don't know what to tell you.
My show. That was cool. Who did that? Did somebody do that?
I have no idea anymore. I'm happy to be here. I'll be here with you.
I'm just saying that was cool.
I don't know what that was. You got me looking like the Statue of Liberty on 4th of July.
I thought you froze because it looked like you were like.
I was in a very happy place. Let me tell you. I was in a very happy place right there.
Okay. You know what, dude? Let's end the show there. I like that. I like that. When we're under an hour, it did it again. Who's doing that? Who is doing that?
Have a good night.
Dude. How did I not know that it does that?
2 thumbs up. This guy.
So what you're telling me is, this program can't line up our audio. We can't do any of that shit, but it can do.
But we got a budget for fireworks.
Oh my God. Oh, AI was celebrating
weekend,
the word.
Let's go,
Lions.
Love it.
Yes, let's go Lions. Oh, please, thank you. Okay, all joking aside though, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. You guys stuck with us all night. And thank you for understanding that we're always plus or minus 15 minutes or so. But no, it's crazy out here right now. We know. Please don't blame Biden for all these conflicts all over the world. And please try very hard to stay away from the protest vote. Whether we like it or not, America's a two-party system right now. It's either Biden or Trump. That's what it's going to boil down to again. So it's just a replay. But with that said, I hope everybody stays safe, especially with this weather going on. Drive safe, stay warm. And we will see you next week and leave you as I always do with much love and keep fighting.